Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this beautiful sunny Colorado day. My name is Happy Haynes and I am honored to be the Executive Director of Denver Parks and Recreation. I want to start out by acknowledging a few of our elected officials and dignitaries who are here today, and you'll hear from a couple of them in a few moments. Our Council President Albus Brooks is here. Councilwoman Sussman, I believe, is here. Councilman Herndon is here. Councilwoman Kanish is here. Councilman New is here. Councilman Flynn is here. Councilman Lopez is here. Council President, I think we have a quorum. We have some business that needs to be done.
Ordinances. Give us ordinances.
Just some new ordinances. We also have our clerk and recorder, Deborah Johnson, is here. Thank you for being here. We have some former elected officials, council members. Thank you all for joining us today. Evan Dreyer is here from the mayor's office. Raise your hands as I'm calling your names, please. Kristen Bronson, our city attorney, is here, and so many others. Please forgive me if I have not seen you in all of the, good. Beth McCann, our district attorney, is here. Yes, thank you. And an East parent. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of our celebration today. Move this back a little. We're going to start by our ribbon cutting here outside in front of this beautiful new facility. We'll hear some remarks from the mayor. And then this is sort of a progressive celebration. So we're going to all join inside on the lobby where we will unveil a wonderful portrait and hear some comments by our former Councilwoman Jeannie Robb and our Council President Albus Brooks. And then we'll all proceed to the gymnasium, and where we will be greeted by the Denver Municipal Band and welcomed officially by our recreation staff. And then finally, the last leg of our journey through this amazing facility will be a journey to the amazing rooftop event center for refreshments and greeting one another. So today is a good day. I'm going to let somebody who's, do we have a, oh, okay. Today represents the determination of many people to bring a state-of-the-art recreational facility to an area of the city where there has been a gap in services for many years. Today represents a continued effort to build on the vibrancy of this great city, especially along the East Colfax corridor. And I look at many of you who have spent so many years working on this. Today we celebrate the opening of the new Carla Madison Recreation Center. It started, and as soon as I say this date, Jeannie Robb is going to shake her head because she knows it was really earlier. It started with a recreation needs assessment in 2005. And in the 2007 Better Bond Package, voters, you all, approved funding for the planning, design, and acquisition of land for the new recreation center. That left a huge gap in funding and time to get to where we are today. So I want to acknowledge a few people who worked hard and were instrumental in bridging that gap and bringing this new recreation center to life after more than 10 relentless years of advocacy. Former Councilwoman Jeannie Robb, please stand forward. And I just have to say, relentless is inadequate to describe her efforts. And Council President, equally relentless, Council President Albus Brooks. They each brought strong support to this project, especially in advocating for the financing of this new center. I'd like to also thank the stakeholder group. And if you remember that stakeholder group, would you raise your hands and be acknowledged by the crowd? Yeah. Thank you for being here. This is a tough group. Not only did they attend meetings at 7:30 in the morning endlessly before starting their full days, but they dutifully represented the surrounding community and organizations and constituencies of this city, including neighborhoods, businesses, and schools. They worked through some really tough choices and helped us find a good balance in planning and designing this dynamic site. I want to give a special acknowledgement to East High School. Sorry, I'm a little biased. Through a shared use agreement with Denver Public Schools, the swim program at East High School will have access to the new amazing competitive lap pool.
Wow.
Finally, a home pool for the East Angels. And the patrons of the Recreation Center, on the other hand, will be able to use the student parking lot during designated hours. This is an example of how two public entities can work together for the shared benefit of the community that we both serve. Now, we all know that a project like this takes a village and more. I want to thank especially our core project team, and I want you all to raise your hands and step forward when I call your name. Okay, no casualties on the first day, please. Everybody okay? Ooh, that was it was a fender bender. Oh, sorry. So from our core team, from Parks and Recreation, from Public Works, and from the Budget and Management Office. These folks became like a family during the trials and tribulations of this project, but they kept their sights focused on this amazing facility that you see. I will start with the project manager, Brett Honenkamp. Where's Brett? And Brandon Gainey, Michael Sheehan, and Dave Hunsinger from Public Works. Thank you. Without the expertise and support from Bar Chadwick, Laura Perry, and Jeremy Matson from the Budget and Management Office, we would not be here today. And from the Parks and Recreation side, I want to thank Jeru Parikh. Where's Jeru? Should be up front. Here, Jeru, who served as our Parks and Rec project manager, as well as Gordon Robertson and John Martinez. More than anyone else here, this has been a labor of love for John Martinez.
Yeah.
And resisting the temptation to use birth and labor pains as a metaphor, let's just say that John is the proud papa of this center. Speaking of pride, the role that centers play in defining the health of our community is a source of pride for all of us in Parks and Recreation. Not only do they offer a place to exercise and stay active and fit, but they provide arts and culture and serve as a gathering place for people to convene. We are so happy to bring another one of these vibrant community hubs to Denver. Before turning it over to the mayor, I want to acknowledge my colleague Scott Gilmore, the Deputy Executive Director of Parks. His team not only maintains our extraordinary parks, but they also help to maintain our recreation facilities. Thank you, Scott, and to your whole team. And now I want to welcome our mayor, who has not only been a champion for our park and recreation system and of this project for many years, but he grew up in parks and recreation. There's never been a mayor in this city that knew better the role that parks and recreation plays in the health and vitality of our city. Please join me with a warm welcome for our mayor, Michael B. Hancock.
Thank you all. You guys ready to open up this center? Yeah. I think we've thanked everyone in Denver for this. But I just got a couple more people I want to thank. I want to thank, first of all, I think we have a world-class leadership team at Parks and Recreation under the leadership of Haynes and Scott Gilmore and John Martinez and all of the Parks and Rec people who stand in the gap every day for this great city. And I just want you to join me in celebrating our Parks and Rec team. Thank you so much. I want to underscore the leadership of former City Councilwoman Jeannie Robb. This was the most expensive dog park in the world. And every time I drove by and I saw those dogs just frolicking around on an $11 million park, I said, we got to figure this thing out. And I want to thank her for being so diligent and so tenacious. And then Councilman Brooks taking the baton and carrying that same energy. I want to thank them for their leadership in helping to get this done. There are some folks we didn't call out today, and I want to make sure you all know the story on how we did this. We did not have a plan to finance this rec center. And I knew there's no way in the world I'm going to keep Jeannie Robb at bay until 2017. So one day I had a meeting with former Chief Financial Officer, Kerry Kennedy. Yeah. And I said, Kerry, I've got the most impossible task for you. I want you to find a way for us to finance the rec center there in East Denver, off of Colfax and Josephine, so that we can do away with the most expensive park in the world, dog park in the world, and finally have a rec center that this part of the city deserves. But I don't want to create any new debt. That's the impossible. Find a way for us to finance it. And I said, I have a hint for you. Take a look at all the cash we've been stashing in the Tabor reserves. And see if we can find a way to use that money. And Kerry came back with a plan. Folks, this rec center is built with no new debt to the people of Denver. Using money that your tax efforts have been stashing away. We created that value by doing some financial moving buildings in, kind of like mortgaging your home, but without new debt. It's a smart way the state's been doing, and the cities are just now figuring this out. And so I'm proud of the fact that we can deliver this to the people of Denver cost effectively, a world-class recreation center. The last thing I'm going to say, because I think it's important that we turn this over to you all by cutting this ribbon, is two things. One, we want to thank the Anschutz Foundation for providing $100,000 grant that allowed us to complete this space, which makes this center extra special. We want to thank Barker, Rinker, CCAT Architecture for designing this beautiful facility. You're going to be blown away if you haven't been in it. Of Dawson and Peterson Construction for seeing this project through the final stages. Thank you as well. And of course, we do want to celebrate East High Angels. My alma mater, Manual High School, is proud to host you at our pool. We're glad you have your own pool now. You can get out of our pool. No, we're proud of East Angels, and we want you to use this pool and win a state championship right here at the Carla Madison Rec Center. I want to just acknowledge the presence of the Carla Madison family. Thank you all. Her brother is here. Mom. Mom is here. So I sat next to Carla's bed with her. Council members Marcia Johnson and Jeannie Robb and I served with Carla Madison. I wore orange today, not because of Denver Broncos, we know better. Marcia wore orange today to celebrate Carla Madison.
Yeah, right on.
She was an absolute phenomenal woman. She was a tremendous representative and fighter for her constituents. And when she left us, we lost a major soldier in this great city. She loved this city. And when I walked through this rec center just 2 weeks ago, I gotta tell you, I had a tremendous amount of pride that we gave a tremendous facility to honor a tremendous public servant in Carla Madison. So to Carla, we know you're watching. Fire red, bright orange. We love you, and we thank you for the service you gave to all of us. And thank you for giving us a great woman.
Okay, before we cut this ribbon, I want to thank two other groups just momentarily, because every time we have a wonderful special event like this, we owe it to the support of our facilities management team and our marketing and communications team from Denver Parks and Recreation. So thank you for setting this event up.
You guys ready to count to 3?